Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a fundamental law of chemistry that's happening all around you and even inside you every single second. Ready to dive in?
Okay, so here's a fun one for you. What do your lungs, a party balloon, and a rising loaf of bread all have in common? I know, it sounds like a riddle, right? But the answer is actually this really cool scientific principle. Every single one of them is a perfect, everyday example of Avogadro's law. Stick with me and you'll see exactly what I mean.
All right, here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll hit the main idea. Equal volumes equal particles. Then we'll look at the law in numbers. After that, we'll talk about a kind of magic number for gases. Then we'll see it in the real world. And finally, we'll touch on the ideal versus the real. It's a straight shot from the concept right into reality. Okay, let's jump right in. Section 1, equal volumes equal particles. This is really the core idea, the heart of what the brilliant Italian scientist Amedeo Avogadro figured out way back, over 200 years ago. So here it is, the big idea in a nutshell. Avogadro's law says that if you have equal volumes of any gases, doesn't matter what they are, and you keep them at the very same temperature and pressure, they will always have the same number of molecules, or moles. Think about that for a second. If you have a box of oxygen and an identical box of helium, under the same conditions, boom, same number of particles. The type of gas just doesn't matter. It's kind of wild when you think about it. And if that sounds a little abstract, check out this analogy. It makes it so much easier to grasp. Imagine you've got two identical rooms. In room A, you cram in a bunch of basketball players. They're huge, right? In room B, you put in a bunch of gymnasts, much smaller. Now, the people are totally different sizes, but if the rooms are the same size and under the same conditions, they can hold the same number of people. Avogadro's law says gases work the exact same way. The size of the individual molecule doesn't matter. It's all about how many of them you've got. All right, now let's see how this really elegant idea gets turned into a simple, beautiful mathematical relationship. And seriously, don't worry. The math here is super straightforward. You know, it all boils down to this one simple link. Volume, that's the V, is directly proportional to the number of moles, which is the N. And remember, a mole is just how chemists count huge numbers of particles, like how a dozen is for eggs. That little fish-looking symbol in the middle just means is proportional to. So in plain English, add more gas, the volume gets bigger. Take some gas out, the volume shrinks. Simple as that. It's a direct one-to-one relationship. And this is the formula we actually use to do calculations. What it's doing is comparing two different states. You've got your starting point, that's V1 over N1, and your final state, V2 over N2. All this equation is saying is that the ratio of the volume to the number of particles stays the same, as long as, and this is key, the temperature and pressure don't change. This is our go-to tool for predicting what happens when we add or remove gas from something. Let's put it to the test with a real example. Say you start with a 2-liter balloon and it has half a mole of air inside. Okay, step 2, you add more air, another half a mole. So now you have 1 full mole in total. The crucial thing, step 3, is that we keep the temperature and pressure exactly the same. So what happens? Well, the new volume, V2, becomes 4 liters. You double the amount of gas and the volume doubled. See? You just used Avogadro's law. Okay, this is where it gets really cool. Building on what we just learned, Avogadro's law actually leads us to this incredibly handy standard in chemistry. You can almost think of it as a magic number for working with gases. So to make sure everyone's on the same page when they're comparing gases, scientists came up with a set of standard conditions. They call it STP, which stands for Standard Temperature and Pressure. The temperature is set at 0 degrees Celsius, that's the freezing point of water, and the pressure is 1 atmosphere, which is basically the pressure you feel at sea level. This creates a level playing field for all gas measurements. And when you lock in those exact standard conditions, something really amazing happens. It turns out that 1 mole of any ideal gas takes up this exact volume, 22.4 liters. This number, 22.4, is an absolute game changer for chemists. And this quote really drives home why that number is so powerful. At STP, 1 mole of any ideal gas will always occupy a volume of 22.4 liters. It doesn't matter if it's super light helium or heavier nitrogen or carbon dioxide. 1 mole at STP is 22.4 liters, period. It's this incredible universal constant. But look, this isn't just some abstract theory stuck in a textbook or a lab. You are interacting with this law every single day, often in ways you probably don't even think about. Think about it. When you pump air into a tire, what are you doing? You're adding more moles of gas, which increases the volume and the pressure.
or just breathing. When you take a breath, your diaphragm lowers, making more volume in your chest, and Avogadro's law basically helps pull the air, the moles of gas, right in. And baking, that fluffy loaf of bread, that's just yeast producing tiny bubbles of CO2 gas. Those moles of gas take up volume, and poof, the dough rises. It is literally everywhere. Okay, now, like all the great laws in science, Avogadro's is part of a model. It describes a perfect or ideal gas. So it's really important to understand where that perfect model bumps up against messy reality. So the law assumes we're dealing with an ideal gas. That's a theoretical gas where the particles themselves are just tiny dots that have no volume and they don't attract each other at all. This works great at low pressure and high temperature, when the gas particles are flying around far apart from each other. But in the real world, especially if you crank up the pressure or drop the temperature way down, those particles get squeezed really close together, and all of a sudden their actual size starts to matter, and so do the tiny little forces of attraction between them. So Avogadro's law is most accurate when gases have plenty of room to behave ideally. But here is the most important thing to remember. For the vast, vast majority of situations you and I will ever run into, from the air we're breathing right now to the tires on our cars, the conditions are normal enough that Avogadro's law works beautifully. It is an incredibly powerful and really reliable tool for making sense of the world. So there you have it. We've seen how a simple rule about just counting particles governs everything from baking bread to taking a breath. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other elegant, invisible laws are shaping our world at this very moment, just waiting for us to notice? Thanks so much for joining me for